What are your thoughts on that, Najib? It's something that we probably don't talk about very much. I think the caller is right that CBC doesn't focus on it very much in terms of Canada. But as a global problem, and this hour is not just about Alberta or Canada; it's about everything. What do you say to the question of the population concern that John just raised?
Well, I mean, two things. One thing is, John, you can be an optimistic realist as well. They're not mutually exclusive. I like to think of myself as an optimistic realist. The other thing is, I mean, there's different points of view in terms of population. I mean, there is also studies out there that show that we might be at peak population and then populations will decline for various reasons, climate change being one of them. And I think as far as Canada goes in terms of the being able to inhabit most of Canada, I mean, to Rita's point, I mean, I think there is a lot of northern Canada that is inhabitable. Plus, I mean, you'll see how quickly people find space to be inhabitable once you run out of options in terms of coastal cities and not being able to live there. So I think a lot of these things are factors. The other thing is, you know, in terms of climate change and population, you know, it's funny because I think we in the West and North America specifically have the time and ability to keep these discussions going in terms of carbon taxes and if humans are responsible for climate change or not. But, you know, the other countries that are more dense and are already being affected by things like increases in natural disasters and rising tidewaters are already acting, and they have to, right? Because the first people who are the first thing that affected is animals, which we need, by the way, and then the second thing that affected is poor people, right? So, you know, Indonesia moving its capital from Jakarta to inland because of coastal waters rising. Everybody else around the world has to react while we're all still debating these things, and I think that's, you know, what I'm kind of optimistic about, is that we start moving towards more concrete conversations and concrete solutions and stop debating these things that, you know, unfortunately, the rest of the world is having to move on.